Yay, got it to go. Hey there, you awesome bipeds, quadrupeds, and even the occasional dinosaurs. It is I, Little Wolf, and welcome to my den. Go ahead and come on in, but please wipe your paws before entering, and go ahead and take a seat by the fire. And tonight again we have, I'd say a pretty special guest, and people have asked for me to do more videos with her, and it is my little pup, Rin.
Hi guys, it's Rin here.
Yeah, so far there's been like a lot of people saying that they liked our video that we did last time, and they kept saying we should do some more of them, so
I'm a
figured why
cool
not?
kid now. I'm a cool kid now.
Yay!
Instead of I'm a big kid now, it's I'm a cool kid now.
Yep.
Like if you think I'm a cool kid now. Just kidding. But you really should like this video.
Goofy. Alright, so, before we jump into that, if there's ever anybody out there who feels like they're gonna hurt themselves, or you know someone who's gonna hurt themselves, I think they should call the U.S. suicide hotline number, which is 1-800-273-8255. Once again, that's 1-800-273-8255. Or you can text them at 741-741. And for anybody who's in a country outside of the United States, which is pretty much everybody else, there's opencounseling.com/suicide-hotlines. And they'll give you a list of countries, and you'll be able to choose one from there to get help from. Okay, as most people would know, one of my favorite movie monsters ever would be zombies. And I know it's pretty popular with you because you like the Walking Dead series.
Duh.
Especially with you bringing up the Norman Reedus autobiography last time.
Hush.
And let's see here, what else have you watched with it? There was the fun movie Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's one of my favorites, of course,
It's
because
a
I
cute
love
movie.
I love Scooby-Doo and I love zombies, and
Mm-hmm.
just being able to bring both of them together.
It's a great combo, especially for when you want to watch a horror movie. Well, not really horror, but but you also want to watch with your little kid. That's a great movie to go for.
Yeah, definitely. And it has a really cool, like, nemesis in there with, like, instead of werewolves, it's werecats.
Hmm. It's actually pretty creative because you always hear about the curse of the werewolf or something like that. It's like, what about those cats though?
Oh yeah, that was really cool, and it like brought into like a weird aspect of like many other different animals that could do that. Like, what if there was a weremouse at like a full moon, and all of a sudden it just became a little monster?
Yeah, like I can just imagine like somebody's trying to hang out or whatever, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Shoot, you gotta go," and they're like, but why?" And then all of a sudden they get like little round ears and a tail, and they just shrink. Maybe that's why mom's so short.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Oh man, wow. I didn't expect that one. Um, but there's other zombie movies later on down the road that I want to show you, and of course, you know my favorite is Night of the Living Dead,
Of course.
and all the other Romero zombie movies, and there's a few other ones I have that I could show you. But the other day we did watch what I said was probably like my third favorite zombie movie.
Yeah.
And Do you remember what it's called?
No, I do not.
Ah, okay. It's called Resident Evil.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's based off of an old video game that me and Uncle Noah used to play when we were in high school
So
with
I
the
bet you were
same name.
excited. So I bet you were excited when this movie came out.
Oh yeah, I was very, very excited. Just kind of too bad they didn't get the original director they wanted to. They were gonna try and get George Romero, who made Night of the Living Dead, and he's
Mhm.
basically the godfather of modern zombie movies. They were gonna get him, but then they thought it would be too gory.
Mhm.
And it's like there's zombies, and it's. Have you guys played the video games? Like sometime I have a DS emulator, and it has. I have the first Resident Evil game, and I'll
Mhm.
show you that later on.
Okay.
But what were your initial thoughts watching it for the first
I,
time?
I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest. I said this to you like right after the movie ended. Um, it was very similar. I do not remember my exact words. I have a really memory, and my words were like, I was kind of upset because I was on my phone and I was just doing like probably scrolling through TikTok or whatever, and then I just saw my dad putting in a movie, and I was like, I'm on my phone right now. And then like later, it's like, you know what? I'm glad you put it in, and that I put my phone down. And I was actually debating like, should I tell him I want to watch it later? But like, I'm really glad that I decided to put down my phone and watch it. It was a really good movie.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And the funny thing was, we had just gotten done talking about we should do another movie, and there were a couple other ones you had wanted to do, but then I
Yeah.
showed you Resident Evil.
And I was like, yeah, no, we're doing this. And then others.
And so, I mean, there's like so much that people could say about this movie. There are lots of people who do not like this movie because of
Mhm.
almost like with the last video we did, where it's like the old versus the new type
Mhm.
things.
Yeah.
Um, when you compare the video game to the movie, it's kind of similar, but not. And there's so much in it that they changed to be able to make the movie.
Mm.
Um, because you had like two main characters in the game, Chris Redfield and I think Jill Valentine, if I'm remembering it right, or no, it might have been Claire, but it was two different characters, and like I think neither one of the characters actually made an appearance in the movie, and so I think that's why people were upset by it. They had a pretty good storyline from the game they could have followed, but um they followed it kind of like the Pirates Code. It was more of a guideline.
Mhm.
And but I mean, you get a really awesome character from Alice, which was the blonde girl who woke up in the shower,
Yeah.
and finding out what happened with her, why she can't remember anything and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I would say it probably has a really interesting opening, especially showing the people that are working underground.
Yeah, how they opened the movie, like the opening is interesting, and then like for those who haven't watched it, I'm sorry if I spoil it or whatever, but like when you find out who it is like such a big twist. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah. And especially like when they're showing the people that were trapped inside the elevator and the one girl tries to climb out and the
I feel
elevator starts moving.
I feel so bad for her.
Oh yeah,
But
because
if I was in her
you,
situation, I was like, you know what? Yeah, no, it's too much of a risk.
You know she lost her head.
Yep. Well, even like I knew that she was gonna die just because like I would not be like, okay, I'm trapped in an elevator. I'm gonna try to get out with a through this tiny door when so much could go wrong. Oh yeah, it's like seriously.
And also, like in other movies where people are trapped in an elevator, usually there's a trap door like in the roof that they could
Yeah.
try climbing out of, and I'm kind of surprised they didn't do that.
When I first saw the movie, um, like like when they were like in that scene where they were panicking and then all of a sudden that girl that lost her head, she's like, listen, and turns out they're falling. At first I thought another elevator was falling on top of them. I was like, oh crud.
Yeah, that was the one right next to him, and they
Yeah,
could
but I
hear
thought
that one falling.
yeah, but I thought that one was falling on top of them.
Yeah, and then their elevator itself started falling.
Yeah. And then it stopped. Then it went up.
I almost wonder if that's kind of what they were going for in House on Haunted Hill with the elevator scene and that leading to the roller
Yeah.
coaster.
They're like, do something. He's like what? And then they're about to hit the ground, and then the elevator is like, you survived. If I was in their
Terra
situation, I would have been
incognito.
so pissed. I, that's probably one reason I don't like elevators. It's like I would be carrying a lot of stuff or whatever, or I just don't feel like going up the stairs, but I'll deal with it.
Yeah. And then
Or at
you
least go
have
up an escalator.
yeah. And they have the one guy show up inside the mansion after she wakes up, and it's the guy who's pretending to be a cop.
Uh-huh.
And then um I'm
Uh,
guessing they're like military operatives bust into the house.
yeah.
And here comes like one of your other favorite characters you told me from the movie.
Rain.
Yeah, she's really her character
Badass.
is just really fun. Yeah. And she later on plays in some other movies, the Fast and the Furious movies. Um, I've really only seen one, two, and three of them, but there's like, good lord, I think 10 of them by now. Wow. Um, but she's a really good actress in kind of action type movies, but she's definitely really good in this one.
Yes. I've not seen her in anything else, but like when it comes to me starting a new movie with something I've never seen before, when I meet characters, I usually go on the impression of their character. If I don't like that character, it's like I might like you in the next movie, but I might not.
Yeah.
I have a weird thing where I would hold something against somebody because of their past character. I don't know why.
That kind of runs with you and mom. I think mom doesn't like certain actors because of how they were in other movies, and so next thing you know, the group and them are trying to get into the underground facility, which is called the Hive.
Yeah, with
And
Red Queen.
mhm, oh, she was a fun little character too, wasn't she?
Yeah, yeah, she was interesting. At first, I was like, she is such a little brat. When I found out that the Red Queen was like a little computer, like a computer as a little girl, and I was like, you little brat. But then I was like, oh, never mind. You're okay. I still don't like you, but you're okay.
Well, yeah, she was just trying to protect everybody else that was above ground and everything from
Yeah.
it's called the T virus in this. And it makes people turn into zombies, which is basically the whole storyline type thing.
hmm When we first encountered, well, when I first encountered the very first zombie in it was when they were trying to get across the lab or whatever to get to the Red Queen,
Hmm.
and that's where some of the scientists drowned.
Oh,
And
that's
then
right.
at
They got sealed inside a room and the sprinklers got turned on.
and at first I was like, "Oh, she's dead. She dead." But then I was like, "Wait a minute. Dad likes zombie movies." And he said something like, "You'll like this zombie movie." So I kind of got a hint, but I wasn't really thinking much of it. And then I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah, when that one was floating by and then just opens her eyes and puts her hand on the window or on the
yeah,
glass.
that's one thing that I noticed is like because mom is always talking about in movies like, oh, that person's dead. They shouldn't be like they should be floating. It's like you're taking it too serious." And then I thought of that, and I was like, they might not be dead.
I think technically they're still dead. They're just not dead dead.
Yeah, but you know what I
if,
mean.
if that makes sense.
No, I understand. It's just I don't know if others will. The way you and I communicate sometimes will confuse others.
Yeah, it could. I mean, shoot, we can sit there and not say anything and still know what the other one's thinking.
Like, remember that one time I was visiting Anchorage and that was the first time I saw you in 3 years? And you and I were sitting in the back of Ari's car and she just heard us giggling. And she would look constantly back at us through the mirror and we weren't even saying anything to each other. And she's like, "You guys have such a good bond. You weren't even saying any words and you guys are still giggling."
Yeah. Oh, and then remember when they get into that hallway leading up to the Red Queen?
Oh yeah, and those people die.
Yeah, and that was just one of my kind of favorite scenes because it's one of those areas, like, especially if it's your first time seeing it, you're not expecting it.
Yeah, like when you first see like their clothes in and the lasers come out or whatever you want to call it, you're like, oh. And then like you think that the captain or like the guy that's leading them through it, you're thinking like, oh, he's gonna make it. But then like all these little different lasers come out and you're like, crud.
Yeah, and it forms the almost the fence type
Yeah,
grid.
and then it's like, oh, he's dead.
And the first one to get killed in there was the medic lady
Yeah,
because
at first,
he's calling out for everyone to duck, and she just was looking the other way, and she turns her head just as it comes towards her.
yeah, when I first saw her, like I didn't really recognize the characters, and I was like, no, I liked her.
Oh, that's right. You thought it was Rain, huh?
Yeah. And I was like, no. And I was like, oh, never mind. She's fine.
Oh, and the other part we should mention really quick is how they only have like a certain amount of time to
Yeah,
get down there and see what's going on.
that was interesting. Like they had, it seemed like they were down there for like around 2.5 hours. Because like near the end when they reactivated the Red Queen, she's like, blah blah blah, and then that's when they like when Rain, she's looking at her watch constantly and she's like, we only have about an hour to get up there before they fully close us down here.
Hmm. And the company was just gonna leave them all down there and kind of let them be buried down there, or that's what it seemed like at that point.
Yeah.
And then they actually do wind up making it through that hallway, which was, I think, kind of fun because the computer guy had to sneak in there and he was like the only like military person left. And Well, Alice was, but she still didn't really have her memory back yet. And so he
And
was sneaking down the hallway a little bit, and then she just walks up behind him, puts her hand on his shoulder, and scares him.
well, he was the only military person down there because Rain and them were still up there.
Well, they were in the same air. They were in the same facility. They were just back by the tanks,
Yeah.
which was another weird part too, because I think where the tanks were was supposed to be, I think, dining room B or something like that on the map that the computer guy had. And
Yeah.
he was saying it doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to be a dining room, and the guy pretending to be a cop says they're keeping secrets down here. So I wonder what other secret things they're doing.
Mhm.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that just thinking back to that scene though of them getting through that hallway was it's just such a fun little scene, especially when you see the laser cut through the guy's knife.
Mhm.
And since he's military, you know that's going to be a decent knife.
No, it's not. It is a decent knife.
And so they finally do get into the Red Queen's area, and you get to see the little hologram of what the Red Queen is supposed to look like.
Mhm.
And her talking with her little, like, posh British accent
Yeah.
was definitely one of my favorite things about the movie, because just hearing that little girl's voice say weird things was just fun. You know, like, get out, you're not supposed to be down here.
Or the ending, she's like, "I've been a bad girl." It's like, no.
I've been a bad, bad girl.
I'm just gonna keep that comment to myself. I take it after you, Dad. This
I
is your
know, I
fault.
know.
This is your fault.
But then they do kind of restart the whole computer system, and all the doors and stuff and everything gets unlocked.
But then that
And
bigger beast gets out.
yeah, that one, like I said, was called a liquor, and you actually don't meet that one until like the second game, if I remember right. So it was kind of weird they brought it into the first movie, but I mean, they didn't really have any other like big bad guys to face in it, which was kind of one of the areas where the game is kind of a letdown from the movie.
Hmm. I mean, like they had a couple, like actually only one bad guy that I would consider one. Were spoiler alert, for those who haven't seen it, but um, Blondie's husband is like he pulls out the gun and he's like, "You think this hot? You're funny." And where was I going with this? I completely lost my track. I got distracted because of Lonnie. She's being so freaking adorable. Dang it, Lonnie.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where you're going with that too, because let's see here. You're talking about Alice's pretend husband, because they were
Hmm.
supposed to be husband and wife and protecting the mansion entrance to the hive.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no memory. It just whoop, I'm gone.
But then you start seeing all the other people that had worked there and passed away start walking about and attacking the group that
Yeah.
are down there.
Like
And
like Lexi or whatever her name was.
oh,
The
the
sister.
sister, yeah,
Hmm. And he's like, he gave her codes and stuff, and the person she given must have been the wrong person.
Yeah, and throughout the whole movie, you get like quick little flashbacks of a
Oh,
conversation
I
that
remember
they're having.
now. So basically, the one of the main bad guys I meet is the pretend husband. When he regains his memory, he's like, "You're funny to think that I married you. I miss you already."
Oh yeah, and how she uses that line on him when he, spoilers, becomes a zombie later.
Yep.
And
Sorry to you guys who have not seen it yet.
yeah, I mean, this movie came out. Let's see here. I'm checking the Oracle on it now.
Yeah, well, there's still
Um,
some people who haven't. So,
I'm sure. But this movie came out almost 20 years ago now. It was 2002 when this movie came out.
dang, I came out 4 years later.
That's an interesting way of putting it. But yes, but yeah, I mean, I
I
know that,
know
and that I know like most of your stuff with zombies is a lot from The Walking Dead, and
Norman Reedus.
mhm. So how would you compare the two if you had to?
Hmm. I mean, like, if I were to compare them, there'd be a few differences. I'm not sure why walkers, like in The Walking Dead, they call them walkers, not zombies, and I sort of caught on to calling them walkers. So in The Walking Dead, walkers, they are obviously zombies, but I've not figured out why they came out yet. Unlike in the movie we watched where it says why they became walkers. And um yeah. And like not only that, but there isn't like any other sort of thing going on. Like it I'm pretty sure it just stays with humans because I've seen horses and dog skin eaten and mice and stuff. So it's like I'm pretty sure it stays with just humans. So it's not like some crazy new monster thing like that thing that ate the fake husband.
Hmm. And also don't forget the zombie dogs.
Oh yeah. Well, I said dogs.
Not true, but I mean, especially how they kind of show up in this one, especially what was it? Alice was just walking around, and all of a sudden she shows up in the kennel area,
Yeah, that's what happened.
and you hear the clicking noise of their claws hitting the ground.
Mhm.
And this is when she starts getting her memories back of being a military person.
Yeah, I love that scene where she like sort of jumps on the wall and then like kicks the dog right in the face. I'm like, yes, queen.
And kicks it through the window.
Mhm.
But
Not
like
only did
sad,
she take, not only did she take down one dog, she took a whole squad of them.
yeah, I think there are like what 8 or 9 of them there.
She took down a little mini dog army.
Oh, that's kind of sad. We're both dogs too.
Our poor cousins.
Oh man! But then also your other favorite character did wind up getting bit, huh?
Yeah, in the very beginning too, and she was the first one.
Yeah, she got bit on the hand by like the first like zombie that they meet, which was kind of sad.
Wait. You said there's about eight, right? Eight
I
dogs.
believe so.
Poor Jimmy. Poor Samantha. Poor Timmy. Poor Barbara. Poor Patricia. Poor um Elizabeth. Poor Ethan. Poor Alex. Poor everybody. Those are our cousin. Rip them. I just had to come up with names.
Weirdo.
I am not.
Yes, you are.
I take it after you. I blame it on
True.
you.
Okay, so let's see here. We were just talking about them meeting the dogs, and then right after that, I think I'm trying to remember exactly what happens in the movie. I mean, we don't have to go through like scene by scene, but I just parts of it that I remember especially is them crawling on the pipes with all of the
Yeah,
zombies underneath them.
that was so smart because that was Alice's idea when they were like when Queen Red Queen, she was like, go down there and blah blah blah. So they go down there and then like there's this scene and something happened and Rain ended up pinning somebody against the wall because she's mad and then the walkers came out of nowhere and then yeah, they had to climb up on the pipes and hmm
Yeah, and they had to go up there because at one point they all got trapped inside the room leading to the Red Queen.
yeah,
Oh,
and that
that,
one dude he was left behind. Well, almost. He got
mm-hmm,
bit everywhere, and then that's when the bites and everything was starting to affect Rain,
mm-hmm.
and Alice had to end up taking she had to take her gun and shoot the walker's way so he can get up somewhere. And I thought he was gonna commit suicide because he grabbed his gun and then like they show Alice and them running away and you hear one single gunshot and then I was like no and then it turns out he wasn't dead. I'm like, oh
Yeah, he had like a little 6-shooter and he emptied the rounds and there was only one bullet left.
yeah, and I really thought he was gonna commit suicide.
Well, it did look like it. I mean, he did take the gun and was holding it up to his head and everything.
Yeah.
But that does kind of bring to mind a quick scene where they're trying to get through the locked door and he keeps asking him for the password. Come on, what's the password? Come on, hurry up.
Yeah.
And the one
hmm
guy's all calm and he's just sitting there like, the number is blah, 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 blah. Oh,
Yeah,
darn
I
it, I can't
remember like
remember.
and that's when they were all trapped in that room when Alice and her husband or whatever, like or whoever, they're out doing whatever. And that's when Walker's starting to show up more. And they're trying to get out of the room. And he's like, what's the password? And the other dude that's giving the password, he's shooting off the walkers. And that one dude, he's just standing there. He's like, I can go get a password for you.
And then they finally make it up, and Rain is getting really, really sick by this point because
Yeah,
she's
when they're
gotten
on the
bit.
train.
Yeah, she got bit so many times, and Alice starts remembering bits and pieces more because she
Yeah.
remembers the room that has the virus and the antivirus.
hmm
And so
And that's
they go
when,
in there. They
and that's
go in there
when,
to look for it. Yeah.
yeah, and that's when they figure out her husband wasn't really her husband. And, oh, I found my hoodie. I'm happy.
Yay.
I've been looking for this hoodie for the past 4 days. And just to let you all know, I am a hoodie person. I have about 30 hoodies now. Anyway,
Yeah,
continue.
but that is where you find out that the husband or fake husband was kind of plotting against them, and he was saying that there were people out there that were willing to pay like millions and millions of dollars for the virus and the antivirus.
And it's like, bro, you would have gotten more money if you turned all that into the right people.
Hmm. And shoot, I think a lot of it wouldn't have happened if he would have just left it all alone.
And let Alice and his the other dude's sister do what they needed to do.
Hmm. Oh,
And
I
then,
think that's a little part of it that we kind of talked about but didn't really go full into,
mhm,
was the cop, or the guy pretending to be a cop, was trying to sneak in there because his sister worked inside the facility, and he was trying to infiltrate it to get information. And
yeah,
Alice was supposed to be her contact person,
mhm, yeah.
because in the flashbacks she kept saying, I have surveillance
I have
stuff.
passwords.
All of the stuff to help you get in and out with the virus.
Yeah, and she's saying something like, "You name it."
Yeah, because she kept saying there was going to be a price for it, and it finally turns out to be Alice's prices to bring the Umbrella Corporation down, which is
Mhm.
the name of the company that made the virus.
Yeah.
Which I should have said at the beginning of this, but like I said, it's a 2002 movie. Most people should have seen this movie by now.
Unless you live under a rock like me. Actually,
Or
make sure
just,
I live under two rocks.
but you know, also considering your age, it probably would have been unwise to show you this movie at such a young age, or
And yet
younger
you guys,
age.
and yet you guys show me Inuyasha 4.
Well, I mean, Inuyasha is kind of a cartoonish one,
Mm,
but
right.
then again, you also, there was almost nothing we could do to stop you from watching it. You would always beg to watch it,
Really?
especially after I showed it to you. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, like I think you were around 2-ish
I
when
thought
we
I was
first started.
4.
No, you're like 2, and we started watching them, and you just at that point, a little bit after, had known every character that you had seen, and you knew the storyline really well.
Yeah. Like,
And I kind of hope to do that with this series. I mean, at least movies 1, 2, and 3.
for Inuyasha.
No, for Resident
Oh,
Evil.
uh, in my opinion, so if anybody wants to watch Inuyasha, if you're trying to like look it up, um, I suggest if you're gonna look it up on YouTube, then look for the first episode, watch that first episode, first two or three, and then you can watch any other episode because once you get the first video, which basically gives you the idea of what they're doing, then you can watch any other episode and you pretty much know what's going on, other than you don't know what previously happened. But you get an idea of, oh, this is what they're doing. Stop eating my pencil.
Just so you guys know, I'm not eating her pencil.
It was May, guys. It's May, my squished Oreo cat that God dropped.
But yeah, I'm just like really glad that you enjoyed this movie. It was one of the ones where I wasn't sure if you would like it or not, but then knowing you like The Walking Dead and things like that, so I
I was
figured
so
you.
I was so sad when Rain died. I was like, no.
Another spoiler, people.
You already said that she's going to die, so spoiler again.
Yeah, but you fully spoiled
So we
it.
pretty
Oh
much
yeah.
spoiled the entire thing from the beginning, so there's no point anymore.
True. At the beginning, I should just kind of put a spoiler, like complete warning.
Next time we watch a new movie, yes, we're going to do that.
And of course, a lot of the ones I'm going to watch with you are going to be kind of new to you.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely glad you liked this one. And I know from like the little tidbit towards the end of it where it shows her waking up in the city, I know you want to watch the second one.
It's going to be a handful to get our hands on that, but I'm pretty sure we can do it.
Yeah. I'm thinking I might be able to pick up another Google card and put it onto my Google account.
Yeah.
So we can do it that way. And like I said, I also have the third one. And those
Yeah.
really, of all the ones out there, 1, 2, and 3, and then the last one would really be the only ones really worth watching. Because,
Yeah.
like, 4 and 5, I think they're okay, but they're just ultra weird. I mean, even
Yeah.
weirder than most of the stuff I like.
Mm. Okay.
And then, let's see here. I know there are some other movies you were thinking that we should do a review on later. What would you think you would want to try and do next if we get a chance to?
I kind of want to do that one movie you showed me with, I never remember the name, even though I've seen it like 5 times now. Um, Go to the bird, she'll tell you everything.
Oh, okay. Mrs. Peregrine.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, and the
Ah!
particular, yeah, your favorite thing.
My favorite part of the movie.
Hmm. Well, I wasn't too sure which movie you're gonna pick. I know you had talked a little bit ago about other movies, but yeah, we could definitely sit down and
Oh,
do that movie next.
you're gonna have to remind me because I forgot what movies because it's been a really long day.
Uh, Hi, my name is Tom.
Oh, that one! And I think the other
Will
one.
the Beast.
That I was trying to. It was like there, but I couldn't like. Is when I was trying to understand what my thought was. It's basically when somebody speaks to you and you think they're speaking some incomplete alien language. It's like, what are you saying? And then you said that part like, oh, that movie. Will the Beast. Will the Beast.
But yeah, definitely there's so let's see here. There's the Mrs. Peregrine movie.
Hmm.
Um then the other one that we mentioned was 50 First Dates,
And
and
anger management.
then Anger Management. And
Yeah.
I was also thinking somewhere down the road we should do the Firefly series and the Serenity movie. And I know you
Yeah.
like the Serenity movie already, but you haven't seen
I
the TV show.
I really love the Serenity movie, mostly because I remembered that one scene because I saw it back when I lived in Anchorage and I'd visit you.
Hmm.
And it was years since I seen that movie. And then I was like, oh, do you remember that one movie? Like literally out of nowhere, my mom, Sir Wolf, and we were literally walking down an alleyway, and out of nowhere, I was like, do you remember this one scene? That's literally what happened.
And that's usually how my mind kind of works either way, because I watch so many movies.
But like the thing is, I have a really cruddy memory. Like literally one time, Sir Wolf and we were going to the store because my mom had requested us to get something, and we were trying to get some cat food. And then I told my dad to wait at this one spot and went and talked to mom. I came back. I came back and he's like, so what does she want? I'm like, I don't remember.
You just talked to her.
No.
Yeah, she wanted cat food and cat treats, and
I literally went up and talked to her, and it came back, and you were like, "What did she want?" I'm like, I don't remember.
it's like told in 2 minutes or something like that too.
I was standing there for a hot minute talking to her too.
All right, so I'm definitely glad we were able to kind of sit down and talk about Resident Evil, and I'm glad you liked it. And
Hmm.
I just can't wait to be able to sit down and show you those ones.
Yeah,
And later on, my favorite one, Night of the Living Dead.
yeah. I really want to watch that because they're always talking about that. Like sometimes out of nowhere, you say scene from that. I'm like, is that from Night of the Living Dead? And you're like, yeah.
They're coming to get you,
You
Barbara.
Barbara.
But yeah, this is definitely fun, and I do hope that the other bipeds and whoever else watches this does enjoy it. And I know they definitely enjoy having you being another voice on my channel. Especially with some of the other comments we had, like stop censoring Ren.
Yeah.
And
Beep,
thankfully you
beep,
didn't
beep,
really
beep, beep.
swear too much this time, so I don't have to do as much editing, but hey.
Hey, this time. Keyword. This time.
Oh yeah, I know. And
Keep that
what's
in mind.
yeah, it's kind of funny too, because like on my own channel, I don't really like to swear too much, because I mean, like I told you before, I show cartoons and things like that, and if parents want to watch it with their kids, you don't want to hear an adult sitting there swearing the whole time.
Like,
So
yeah. And then I come along.
yeah,
Literally that one part in that video,
yes.
like where that one part where it's like, if I was in that movie, I have fun.
So much for not having to do much of it. All right, so I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there.
I like
And
turtles.
I'm glad you were able to come on again, and I'm glad you enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, me too.
Because I know there's
Because
probably going to be some movies that we watch down the road that you're not going to like, or maybe I'll watch something that you like that I don't like, which I mean, sparkly vampires. But
I,
but sometime down the road we'll figure out some other movies, and I'm just glad to have you on my channel.
yeah, it's nice to be here.
All right, so I hope all of you bipeds, quadrupeds, and even the occasional dinosaurs did enjoy this one. And if you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscription button and the bell button so you can figure out when my next videos come out.
You should
Especially if
also you
especially
should
if
also
it's gonna have this one on here.
you should also like this video if you want me in more of his videos.
Oh, I'm sure lots of people already want you in more of my videos.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so like I usually do say though, we do live on one planet. So let's at least try and be civil.
Hey, I
And
live in the closet, mister.
well, it's still part of the Earth, isn't it?
Will I come out of the closet?
Sometimes.
Gay. I'm just kidding.
It's if we don't like weld the door shut or something.
I don't have a door to my closet though.
I can add one.
No.
Alrighty, so
Then I
well
won't be able to come out of the closet. I won't be gay. I'm just kidding.
that's fine. I mean, we can
I'm
slip
just
you
kidding.
food under the door.
Where would I take
We'll put a bucket in there.
Fuck it.
All right, so let's go ahead and start wrapping it up. Is there anything you want to say to the peoples?
I like turtles.
Of course. All right, so let's go ahead and start saying our goodbyes. We love
Goodbye,
you,
awesome
bipeds,
people.
quadrupeds, and even the occasional dinosaurs so much.
Ow!
And we'll go ahead and wrap this up here. We'll turn off the fire and hopefully here soon have another movie review ready to go. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye,
Thank you for
people.
joining us.